Greetings everyone. I'm so glad you came and visited me today. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a loom knitted headband ear warmer. It's fun to make. It's very simple. It will make a wonderful gift. I know it's kind of hot right now, but if you're going to make homemade Christmas gifts when it's cold, you need to start now so you can have them already. This will be great to drop in someone's stocking or to wrap it up and give it to them. So this is great for ladies that go outside and they walk for exercise, or they walk their dogs, or just go into the grocery store, or what have you. It's just a quick way. You have your hair in a ponytail or a bun. You can put this on and keep your ears warm. It does add some warmth to your head. So this is the garter stitch loom knitted headband ear warmer. If you'd like to learn how to make this, stay tuned. Okay, so I've been working on this headband for a while, not a very long time, but for a little while. And it's this beautiful garter stitch, and this is what you're going to be making. But this is what I've started with. I'm not quite at the end where I need to be, but I thought I would put this aside and get you started. So once you get started, it's just a repeat pattern over and over and over and over. It's real simple, it's real easy, it makes that beautiful garter stitch. And once you get started, I'll let you have it. You can enjoy a TV show or whatever. And then when you get to the length that you desire, we'll meet back and bind off and finish. So you'll need your loom, and today I'm using the Flexi Loom in the skinny, which means it is a small gauge loom. If you have a small gauge loom, you can use that. For the Flexi Loom though, I'm using, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 links. Each link has 2 pegs, so it's a total of 18 pegs. So if you have another loom that's small gauge, you would just need 18 pegs. So I snapped these together. They're kind of fun. It's like a little puzzle. And I have 18 small gauge pegs, but 9 links. You will need your loom knitting tool. You will need some scissors. Highly recommend a measuring tape because you're not really counting the rows. You're just going to knit until you get the desired length. And then of course you will need a darning needle to sew the project together and weave in all the ends. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, you will also need your selected worsted weight yarn. I'm sorry, I failed to mention that first. I don't remember what yarn this is, but you do need a worsted weight. So they're going to start with a slip knot. And a slip knot is, I just have a little tail, I wrap around 2 fingers across, grab it with my 2, pull it through. You're going to put that on the first peg, and I'm going left to right. You can go right to left, it doesn't matter. If you're left-handed, right-handed, it doesn't matter. You can do it whichever way is most comfortable for you. And then I'm going to wrap that peg again, and I'm going to knit over just to get it started. And I'm going to pull that tail out of the way over here. Okay, so now we're just going to do the E-wrap stitch all the way down. And that is just like you're making a little cursive E. Let me turn it this way. And you're just going to go all the way down till you get to your last peg. Now I will mention when you're putting your links together, and I don't know if you can do it wrong, but just make sure the grooves are all facing the same direction, because you need the grooves to help you manipulate the yarn. So we're going all the way down till we get to the end. Okay, so we're at the end. I'm just going to slightly push these down. If you do it too tight, it's going to be too hard to do. So just go back. You're kind of making a little figure 8 right here. And then you're going to go back the opposite direction. And you want to have enough working yarn off of your ball so it doesn't get stuck. And just wrap all the way back down. You can kind of push them as you go. Just make sure you're doing a little E around all of them. Okay, and then when you get to the last one, you're going to knit it off. Now, the whole pattern is you're going to knit a row and then you're going to purl a row. But the end pegs are always going to be knits. These are going to be your turning pegs, and that will give you this nice smooth edge. That is so pretty. Let me get that yarn out of my way. All right, so I'm going to show you two options. This is option 1. And that first row is always a little tighter. So we're going to knit all the way down. And knitting means you pull the bottom loop over the top, over the peg. So knit it over, knit, knit, knit. And normally when I'm just knitting and not doing a tutorial, this is laying in my lap, close to myself. But just to show you how this is done, I'm doing it on the table. So just keep knitting till you get to the end. And there, we've done it. Now we've got the purl. So you take your working yarn, and if you don't know what a purl is, you put the working yarn below the loop. So you go from the top of that loop that's on the peg down, and then you're going to scoop up another loop from your working yarn. It can be tied at the beginning. And then the loop that's on your peg, you're going to take it off carefully and put the new loop on the peg and tighten. Let's do that again. You go from the top, scoop up a loop with your working yarn, take the old loop off, put the new loop on, and tighten. So we're going to do this all the way down till we get to the end. I'm going to speed up a little bit, and then I'll show you option 2. So just keep purling until you get, but don't purl that last peg. Purl all the way to the peg next to the end. Okay, I'm down to the last purl I'm going to do. Because remember, that last peg is a turning peg, and it only gets a knit. Excuse me. All right, so we've already knitted a row all the way down. We came back and purled a row all the way down. So we're going to go back and wrap, and then I'm going to show you option 2, which is my preference. And I will tell you why I prefer that method. So again, you're going to go behind the last peg here, like you're going to do a little 8, you're going to go behind here, and then you're just going to keep wrapping all the way down till you get to the end. So I'm going to speed that up a little bit. Okay, so we're down and we're on this turning peg here. So we wrap it and we knit that one off. Okay, now we're ready for the third row, which is going to be a knit. Now I'm going to do row 3 and 4 together, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So instead of knitting all the way down, coming back and purling, we're going to knit that peg, and then immediately we're going to purl it. Okay, I'm going to get enough working yarn so it's not tight. So you keep the working yarn in front. You knit. Then you purl immediately. That first one, I made my new loop a little too big and it almost got lost. So just a small loop, enough to get it over here. So again, you knit and then you immediately purl. And let me tell you why I like this one a little bit better. Because it's a little bit faster for me. I timed myself doing 1 row of knits and then 1 row of purls, and it took me about 3.5 minutes. I timed myself doing it back and knit and purl, and it saved me about 1.5 minutes of time. So you may not think it, but it probably does save a little time. If you are uncomfortable doing this, by all means, you know, knit the whole row and then purl. It's your comfort level. But to me, this is a time saver. And I like to do projects that are quick and easy. They do take some time, and you do need to know what you're doing and to make it pretty, but I don't like complicated, and I want you to learn how to do things. If you can't or crochet, or you don't know how to crochet and you want to learn how to crochet, I am going to do a crochet headband, but if you have no knitting experience or crochet experience, you can do this right off the bat without very little experience in knitting or crocheting, or none. You really have, if you've never picked up knitting needles, you can do this. I actually prefer this over knitting needles. And don't let anybody tell you this is cheating. This is a different tool. Just like if you write a paper, you can use an ink pen, you could use a pencil. Don't let anybody tell you you're cheating by using an ink pen versus the pencil, because it's all writing. So this is all knitting. It's your preference, what you like to do. And I enjoy this. I think it should be something you enjoy. If you don't enjoy this, then I don't think this is something you need to do. And then, okay, so I got 3 more that I need to knit and purl. So I'm going to knit this one, then I'm going to purl this one. There are different stitches you can make. If you can make a stitch on knitting needles, it can be made on the loom and vice versa. Last one that's going to be knit and purled. Now I'm on the last peg, and all I'm going to do is knit that one. And I just completed 2 rows in 1 pass. See how it's looking? And then you're just going to keep doing that. You go behind that peg and wrap it all the way down till you get to your beginning peg. And I love these because you can bend it, drop them in your purse. They're flexible looms, but they have flexibility on how you can port them around. So I'm going to go knit that off so I don't lose. So just continue knitting and purling, either knitting the whole row and then purling the whole row, or doing 1 knit and then the purl like I just did. So if you need to rewind and see how to do that again, please feel free. But I'm just going to let you knit now because this is very simple. This is all there is to it. So you want to get the measurement that you want to get to. Keep knitting till you get to the length that you want. When you come to your desired length, I would say at least 2 to 4 inches smaller than what you measured on your head. But you can also wrap it around your head and see how it's fitting. And then if it just meets, then we can make it, because this is stretchy, and I'd rather err on the side of too tight than too loose because it would fall off. So keep knitting, stop the video, watch your favorite TV show, listen to some music, grab your coffee, your tea, or your favorite beverage, and just knit away. And then I will meet you back at the end to bind it off and show you how we finish it. So enjoy your knitting. All right, so I've been knitting and purling, and I have reached right about 19 inches, going back and forth, purling and knitting. But I do want to end with a purl. So I'm going to wrap, just like I normally would, one more time, all the way back to the beginning, so that we can end with a knit row, because somehow I feel this will make it easier to stitch it together when we're putting our headband ear warmer together. So knit that end one off. Okay, no more purling. I'm just going to knit all this down, and then we're going to bind off. So this one shouldn't take long at all. I'm just going to knit. And if you need to go back to the beginning and watch what we did, you can do this. This is a very easy project to do. And sorry if there was an interruption, something electronic just turned on in our house. Okay, almost done. And then we're going to knit that last stitch off. No more purling. So now it's time to bind off. So to bind off, we're going to wrap these 2 pegs and knit them off. And I'm going to take this one over to this one, tighten it up, and knit it off. It's a little tight here. And now I'm going to take this one and put it over here. So just very carefully lift it off, put it over here. Now, tighten it up. Now I'm going to knit this one And I'm going to take this one over here, knit that one off, take this one and put it over here. And we're just going to do this till we get to the very end here. So now I'm going to knit the next one, take that off, put it on this one, and knit off, and put this one back on. So just continue until we get to the end of our row here. Find my little hole. And I will speed this up a little bit, and I'll meet you at the end. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, sometimes things like this happen. Just have to figure out what exactly went wrong and try to fix it. I think I did. Okay. This is a tight stitch and it didn't want to go over there. Don't think any harm done there. There we go. Okay. Let's keep going down here. You just have to be patient, you know, and if this is your first project, which I always say this is a very easy beginner project, don't expect it to be perfect. Getting toward the end here. A few more pegs to go. Really, this is the hardest part of the project, in my opinion anyway. And then next is the binding it together, because if you don't do it right, it doesn't turn out right. And I must admit, the first one I tried did not turn out right, and I just ruined my whole project because I couldn't get it undone. So this next part, you're going to have to be really patient. Okay. Almost there, almost there. Knit this one off. Take this one over. Wrap this last one. And knit it. Take it over here. and knit it. Now, you want a kind of long tail. I'd rather have too much than not enough. So make a long tail and then give it a snip. And then our last thing we are going to do, let's see. I'm going to go under here and pull this up. If it will cooperate with me. Pull it all the way out and free it from the loom. Tighten that up and it's off the loom. Now if you kept going, you could make a very pretty garter stitch scarf. And I do plan on making one of those. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Okay. So you need to decide which side. They look the same, but I have a few imperfections down here. So I'm going to make that the inside. This is going to be the outside. So just decide which side you want to be the inside and which one you want to be the outside. I will say this measured, and I don't know how many rows, about 19 inches. And I'm hoping this works out. So this is going to be what I want to show on the outside. And it's going to meet in the middle right here. So you're just kind of making an accordion fold over here. And so you got to match these up here. All right, so this one goes in here. But let's see, I want that to be on the outside. All right, this is what I'm saying is the tricky part and the part that I kind of struggled with. All right, but you want to match these as evenly as possible. Okay, I think I got it, but I just want to line these up. I'm just going to give it a little check here. If I do it that way, I think that'll work. All right. I'm just going to place this right here until I get my needle threaded, because I don't want to lose my place here. And I'm using a large eye here. Sometimes when it gets fuzzy on the end, it's hard to thread through the darning needle. So just enough so it doesn't come loose. Okay, I can take that out. Okay. So you do have to make sure you are going through every layer. It just came undone. Okay. So I'm going through here. Should be 1, 2, and here's the end of that one right here. And pull it through. Okay, so make sure you are going through all the layers. And I'm just kind of going back and forth right now, and then I will reinforce it. This little layer right here wants to hide. Trying to not get out of the camera here. you are working with a long tail, so. Just go through every layer all the way down. Okay, I'm just going to check to see how it's looking. Okay, that's perfect. So now I'm just going to reinforce what we did. So I'm going to go back to the other side. I'm going to get down here in this corner too, make sure I've got it. You see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going around it. I feel like this will give it a nice strong stitch and it won't come apart. Okay, I'm just going to weave it in. When I weave, I like to go back and forth at least 3 times. This came out of my needle here. And I want to go one more time. And then I say it's safe to snip that off. And then when you turn it over, you have your twisted headband right here. Isn't that pretty? If you like this one and you are into crochet, this one's a little large, so I think I need to make it smaller. But I'm going to make a crocheted one. It has this beautiful rib stitch. So stay tuned for that one. But if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, please give this a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and share this with your friends. And until the next one, God bless.